Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Carlson from the Grove Animal Hospital and Holistic Center, and this evening we're going to be discussing case number 00383. And the symptoms were there was concern about the increase in thirst and urination compared to the other two pets in the household. And what we want to know is why. And there were two phases: the chronic phase, which would be represented in red or weakness, less than 47 was the urinary bladder, so direct correlation here. Acute phase, which is something that's been going on in the last 3 months versus over 3 months here, was cell metabolism, which is related to the energy producing level of the mitochondria, which within the cells that produce cell energy, and then also the pituitary and pineal, which is the sensory circuit. And there was no sensitivities, which means, and also on the base point reading, there wasn't any allergies associated with it. So the environmental test was clear. So the question is, well, how does this work? And if we think about pituitary and pineal has a sensory function in the brain, which has a direct connection to the governing vessel here, related to the kidney and the lower part of the body. So if we're getting a stress signal, we're going to get increased bladder activity here. And that would promote the excess thirst and urination, because the call is to kick out more urine because of the sensory circuit. But also, if you're going to kick out more urine, you're going to get more thirst with it. So not directly correlated to UTIs in that case, but sending signals to the bladder to release more urine. And so that's a stress response. Urinary bladder itself being weaker, we consider that if we blow the bladder up, is that if we're having mixed signals when to release urine, we're going to get a certain percentage of that urine being more concentrated, or the marking urine. Because if we're getting more of a stress signal from the pituitary, we're going to be increasing our marking urine, which is much more concentrated than our regular urine up here. And so you notice dogs, when they go out, that they'll do a full urination, and then they'll pull up and start going around the yard and marking different areas potentially. And that's that marking urine. It's built by design. You have to retain a certain amount of that urine. And if you think about it, if you took normal urine, you just set it on the counter, because over time it becomes more concentrated. You can actually have crystal formation, because you're going to get an increased specific gravity. And so that's the same thing that can happen when we're holding on to that extra marking urine here. So that's a sensory circuit. Even though the bladder's weaker, we're getting mixed signals from the brain when to release that urine correctly. Cell metabolism can have some function as far as the energy requirements in the body, and if we're producing more energy, then we're going to get more free radical production, so more contaminants that the kidney has to kick out. And so that can make a contribution to the urine as well. Also, it was kind of interesting, if you think about treatment, as nutritional support was a product called Rumaplex, and when we run this in the library, we get specific for what's going to help the urinary bladder, and it came back as nutritional Rumaplex. Well, Rumaplex is good for joint support. So if we come back to posture, if we have an increased angle to the front legs, we're going to get a straighter back leg. And so if we get more contact with the front nails, we're going to get less urine output there. So it's kind of interesting that it would ask to support the joints, and that's going to be related to the back part of the body. So when we talk about treatment, I wanted to add postural nail trimming to make sure that we do a back trim, so we round the nails, versus having a point. If we catch that point on the front part of the paw, we're going to get straighter legs, which is less urinary output. We're going to retain more of that urine, because we're not going to get a complete voidance of the urinary bladder. Also using hemp oil to clear the urinary bladder, cell metabolism, and the pituitary and pineal. So that's going to clear this. It's going to take about 3 months. We're going to use hemp oil, 5 drops every day for 3 months. and then using the nutritional support, and we'll order that in from Standard Process for you. And it's a lot of information. You want to hit the video a few times, but if you have questions, 847-541-4005 is our telephone number to set up consultation. We can go over this in person. And also you can email us as well. Just give us a call and get the email address as well, because there may be questions after hours that you'll want to have answered in terms of something that might come up in the evening. But give us a call if you have any questions. Let's talk about it. Thank you.